thank you so much for sitting down with me today. I know that you've had a very, very long and robust career here, not only with the city of Suffolk, but just in municipal government. You've got 43 years of working, 41 in municipal government, and 30 of that with the city of Suffolk. So after this very long and robust career, it's time for retirement. Let's just start with your career in municipal government. What drew you to a role within municipal government?
Well, I think it goes back to my dad. I grew up in Delaware, and he was initially a highway commissioner. This is before they had the Department of Transportation back in the 60s. So he used to take me with him out on jobs when he was meeting with folks. And then he ultimately became a justice of the peace. So he had that state government a little bit in him. And when I was in college studying engineering, he would go, well, it'd be great when you come home to get with the highway department, which of course I never ended up going home. But that's really, I think, what got planted in the back of my head. And then when I had the opportunity to start with the city of Norfolk, of course, unfortunately he had passed before that. But it just, I think that's what, when I went there, I realized what he'd been talking about.
So fast forward, you had spent some time with the city of Norfolk, then you come to Suffolk. Let's talk about your first day on the job in Suffolk and your first big project.
Well, the first day is, of course, when I arrived here, I'm coming from the city of Norfolk, from a municipal center, and the utilities department office at that time was on an old house on the corner of Henley and West Washington. A little bit different than I was used to. Then we traveled out to the Ops Center, which was a 5,000 square foot facility on a 1 acre lot, had 2 or 3 divisions in it. And there was a backhoe with a flat tire. And I'd get out of the car and I said, oh, the backhoe, obviously the backhoe had a flat tire. And everyone stopped and looked at me because it was the backhoe. And so automatically that planted a thought in my head: we need equipment and we need facilities. And that's my first couple days on the job. And you asked me about the first project. First one I remember really being involved in, we were doing some fire tanks for the Whaleyville and Holland volunteer fire departments. Those tanks are no longer in use, but they were small 40,000 gallon tanks that they needed for one fill up basically. But it took us a while to get that done because funding was limited, but we were able to achieve that. So,
as a public utilities director, someone tasked you with Sleepy Hole golf course. Can you talk about that a little bit? Because that seems like a really interesting connection.
Absolutely. Miles Standish was the city manager at that time. Steve Herbert was the deputy city manager. And their city was interested in acquiring Sleepy Hole Golf Course along with the park from the city of Portsmouth. And there was a certain dollar value that the city of Portsmouth wanted, and our appraisals didn't really look at that. But we then noticed there was a water main that Portsmouth had that I thought served Suffolk better than Portsmouth. So we threw that into and it all worked out where we acquired not only the water main, which was has served northern end of the city very well, but also the golf course. And as part of that, I asked Mr. Herbert if I could stick with the golf course for a while also. So they allowed me to manage the golf course manage the manager of the golf course, or be the liaison, and also manage the reconstruction of it in 2004. So that was one of my outside utility cool projects.
Really, really fun story.
Yeah.
You've held several roles and positions over the years. Let's talk about how those positions shaped you to become city manager.
Okay, going back, obviously, I was an engineer in Norfolk, moved up through the ranks, and then I was given the opportunity to be the director of public utilities in Suffolk, which was a great opportunity. And so I was at for 25 years, working under 5 different city managers, working with many great people on senior staff, and watching the city grow at the same time. So I think all that in combination prepared me, at least moving to the deputy city manager's position, and then certain things had changed and I became the city manager. But I think that 25 years of being here, knowing the city, knowing some people throughout the city, and knowing a lot of the issues that have occurred and were going to occur, really sort of positioned myself for that. And I appreciate City Council's confidence and their support all along.
There's been a lot of change in Suffolk in the last 30 years that you've been here. Let's talk about what changes you have seen since you've started 30 years ago and how you feel you've played a role in those changes within Suffolk.
Well, technology has driven a lot of our change, the use of technology, the improved facilities. Of course, we've had a tremendous amount of growth in Suffolk from when I arrived, 58,000 folks when I was here, again to 105,000. But I guess the big changes in the community is, along with the growth, have come opportunities with us for things to do and places to see. I mean, earlier we were discussing, I had in Harborview Boulevard when I first arrived, didn't exist. It was a dirt path. Mm-hmm. We were laying water mains down a dirt path. Now there's Harborview, which I drive up to go to restaurants now. So yeah. Those are some of the changes that I've seen. Obviously, transportation needs and everything remain.
You've been in the city manager seat for about 5 years. What are some of the projects that you have led that you are most proud of here in Suffolk?
Well, in my utility time, it was getting water to the areas of need, such as the north end, and bringing water south. But since I've been city manager, I think the opportunities that we've had downtown here, where unfortunately we had a tornado, but we had the opportunity to build a festival park that is now open, and we have TGI upstairs and everything. The library is under construction, which was on the drawing board for 20 years. It's now, hopefully next year, be completed. New fire stations, obviously. We did the ribbon cutting or the hose uncoupling the other day for Fire Station 11. I go back to equipment and supporting staff, but I want to make sure when we say that we say Al, that we say we, as far, because it's always a team effort.
Yep, absolutely. We are definitely a team.
Yeah.
And you've definitely promoted teamwork throughout your time with us. When you think about Suffolk's future, what are some of the biggest challenges you see and opportunities you see?
Well, obviously with growth comes some challenges. We're working hard on our transportation links, and we'll continue that. Whether it's the bridges, the Mills Godwin Bridge paralleling, or the Kings Highway Bridge. We're completing 58. We want to work on 460. We have the flyover now at Wilroy and Nesmith Parkway completed. So there is the transportation challenges. We are in the middle of, freight from our ports is coming through Suffolk, going west. So you can find the freight or the truck travel on 58 and 460 is greater than 64. So that is something. We have our residents, it's not all of our traffic. We have folks from Newport News traveling east. We have Smithfield traveling east. We have Windsor traveling Franklin or coming through our city. So those are some of the things I think is the challenges or the opportunities. Of course, education always is a high priority for City Council in the city. So we have some costs there that's going to be challenging at best, and I will use that word challenging there. Those are the things I see on the horizon. There's other things that we would want to do from a entertainment standpoint that I think we can bring on board in the future. And of course, we have Brady's Marina out there too.
There's so much going on here in the city, but I know when you know, you know. What brought you to the decision of now is the time for retirement?
Well, obviously, anyone who's approaching this part of their life, it's difficult. I've had probably 3 different dates that I thought about. A couple have already passed. And my wife has been retired for a couple of years, and she's waiting on me. But I think we've reached the point here. The staff is great. We're in a good position. I'm not getting any younger, but I've had a successful career. I've been blessed and with great people around me. So it's sort of, I recognize it's the time for me, and So I guess when I finally decided what the date would be over the holidays last year, after a year and a half of struggling with it, I just hit 30 years with the city last Thursday. So I
Oh,
was
wow.
like, once I hit the milestone, it's probably the date.
Yeah.
So that's where I came in last winter at.
What do you think you'll miss most about the job?
Well, obviously, you build relationships. You do things, you're involved in stuff, but it's really the relationships that you build along the way. And when you step out and step away from the projects and move on, it's going to be those relationships that you're going to, or I know I'm going to miss. The laughter in the morning, or the really watching people go at it when they're working hard, and trying to get things done, and the creativity of the folks that you work with. So it's the relationships, the people.
The people. Is there anything you wish you had more time or resources to tackle before retiring?
Absolutely, absolutely. There's one project that keeps coming in my mind that if I could turn the clock back 5 or 10 years, I'd be love to be part of it. And that's making sure we get an Amtrak station downtown. Where I know Kevin Hughes is going to work hard on that and staff, but that would be pretty neat to say. From a regional aspect, we have a train station here, because I think it's only going to increase ridership for Amtrak, not only Suffolk residents, but Isle of Wight, and also northern North Carolina residents would benefit from this. So that's one item. Obviously, it's transportation links, hoping that maybe the Mills Godwin Bridge, we get that paralleled, and maybe Kings Highway Bridge back, seeing some of the other recreational improvements, such as the opening of Brady's Marina. That would be pretty neat. But it's just, you just can't get it, be there long enough for some of it to happen. So
I have a feeling that we'll be seeing you at some ribbon cuttings and groundbreakings in the future.
You probably will be. I'm pretty sure.
So Al, if there's any advice you could give the next city manager, what would that be? And any lessons learned or best practices that you could share?
Well, obviously build your relationships. Trust your people. We have very good people here. Being able to provide staff the working environment that they deserve, the facilities they deserve, the equipment that's necessary, and trying to keep those things in place. And an environment that encourages people to enjoy their work. So hopefully that's what I can leave folks with. Don't forget to delegate. There would be things, but most importantly, always laugh. Be able to laugh. Enjoy yourself. It will be trying at sometimes, but humor is a great thing, and with the people around you, you'll be able to be successful.
Is there anything else you want to share with us?
I just wish the staff the best. Going to miss them, and it's been a good run.
On behalf of all of the staff here at the City of Suffolk, you've been a phenomenal city manager. It's been an absolute pleasure working with you, and we are very proud and very excited about your retirement. And I do hope that you come to pay your taxes at City Hall and come visit us.
I'll be here. I'm actually, the Monday after I retire, I'm going to be giving blood downstairs.
Okay, yes. So come visit us as a citizen.
Yeah.
Awesome. Well, thank you so much for your time here today, Al. It's been an absolute pleasure.
Thank you.